Morning, what's happening? Stephen Howson, transfer talk. We're going to be talking about transfers. That's how this works. Is everybody well? Has everyone had a good weekend? What did you do this weekend? I went to watch Top Gun last night. It was very good. Nothing else significant happened this weekend, I don't think. Yeah, highly recommend it, especially if you're like over 35, because you've definitely seen Top Gun if you're over 35. If you're under 35, you might just be thinking, fuck is this shit? But yeah, it was good. Right then, how's everyone doing? Santa Notch says, I'm winning the morning. Well played. Apologies for the delay, a little bit late. I will talk about Ralph, but I'll probably do it tomorrow, or maybe even tonight, but probably tomorrow, I think. A little bit late today because we've been... someone says, Bakuda says 37 and not seeing Top Gun. Get a grip, my friend. A little bit late because we've just been finalising the final plans for Wednesday's launch. Got a little bit more stuff that needs to be doing. Hopefully do that. That's the testing of like the how we take the payments and how the database, like if you sign up now and become a member, how does it assign you the correct sequential sort of membership number? That's what I'm doing at 12 o'clock. So this is going to be an 18-minute video. So that's what we're doing. And that took a little bit longer this morning to do. So it's a bit of a packed out day today. So probably only do one video a day this week. I've been doing 2 videos a day lately. And it's not been as hard as I thought it would be. But this week's probably going to be one a day. Just as we prioritise the membership launch. That's happening with Paddock FC on Wednesday. And also, it's bank holiday, so I've got to spend a bit of time with the family. So, let's talk then about Darwin Nunez. You know my thoughts on him. I don't necessarily think he's the answer. He's certainly a striker that scores goals, but there's other parts to his game that I think probably need quite a bit of work. And for the money involved, I'm not sure. Let's put it that way. Now, Ojogo and Dean Jones Soccer, who's Give Me Sport, and I don't know where they are on the transfer reliability, but about -15, I think, are both saying extremely close or very close to getting Darwin Nunez. Now, to be honest, Darwin Nunez is the only name that I think we've been consistently linked to now for several weeks, so it wouldn't shock me. Here's the difference, though. Everything's coming from the Portuguese side. Now, on one hand, I'm fairly happy with this. It does mean, and it's my suspicion, I don't have any proof of this, but it's my suspicion that Ed Woodward was a major source of a lot of the leaks that we used to get in terms of transfers. I think he fucking loved the interaction, right? I think he was all about that interaction. Give me that fucking... They're tweeting about us again. Yeah, and they're saying we fucking hate you. Fuck off. But I think he loved that drama. Have you noticed how few the leaks are lately under Richard Arnold? And I think it's such a better way of operating. I much prefer it like this. The leaks that are coming out about Darwin Nunez seem to be coming from the Portuguese side only. Now, that happens a lot with Portuguese players. There seems to be a lot of leaks in the Portuguese media. There's probably some really established links between clubs and journalists over there, because when you are linked with a Portuguese player, yeah, that shit finds its way to the press, as it did with Bruno Fernandes, as it's done with every single person that we've bought from Portugal, including Lindelof. So, I think there's probably some validity to it. But I do, on the flip side, I do kind of like the fact that it isn't all of your local press that are getting all of the scoops on this, which tells me that it ain't Woodward leaking it anymore, and it probably was Woodward leaking it in the past. But Darwin Nunez, people are saying he's extremely close. I get the impression that there's something in this one. I don't think it's complete and utter bollocks. Whether or not we sign him, I think that there's a desire to sign him. And I think that's important. Next up then, this one excites me, in all honesty. This one definitely does excite me. And that is N'Golo Kante. So what's happening with him? Now, there's a bit of an exodus going on at the old Chelsea. And supposedly we want Kante. This is coming from The Athletic. I think it's pretty well sourced. It says, Tuchel's going to take some convincing to let him go, which I like the sound of, and especially to a Premier League rival. But he says he thinks Kante could be as influential as other world-class players, such as Mbappe, De Bruyne, or even Salah. But it seems like United do actually want Kante. Now, for all the people saying too old, too injury prone, right? Those are two valid claims. Those are two valid claims. But I think there's a difference with Kante. Kante is like another roll of the dice of Matic. I think he's a better player, but there's more of a roll of the dice of what we've just had with Matic. We can't sign a 24-year-old or 25-year-old world-class player in every single position. What does this United team need? Characters, experience, winners. Kante is that. Now, this is different to signing Harry Kane on $500,000 a week because he's not a fucking winner. And I don't know what his character's all about. So for me, Kante fits the bill. And he'll be relatively good value. You're not paying the English tax for him, but you are paying for a player that's got a serious amount of Premier League winning experience. He's a great character. And he probably suits the sort of style of play that Ten Hag wants him to play. Not going to have a resale value. Not going to be someone that plays here for 4 or 5 years. Certainly not every game anyway, if he does stay here 4 or 5 years. But certainly someone that's a great character to have around at the club. That's it. And I think when United need, Ralph suggests somewhere in the region of 10, 11 players, yeah, you're going to have to buy some older players. You're going to have to buy some younger players. You're going to have to get some free transfers in. You ain't going to get 70 million for every single signing. And I think he's a player that would do bits. When you want to talk about an attitude reset, Kante fits that bill perfectly for me. So I actually think there's something in the mix on this one. We shall see whether or not it comes off. But for now, just roll with it and see how it comes off. We've got a super chat off Fabio. He says, Darwin could be the player that won't care to start from the bench for one season. He would be the only striker right now that could really learn from Ronaldo. I don't know if he's the only one that could do that. For everyone talking about Ralph, I'm not going to cover it in this video. It's a transfer talk. I will cover it. I'll probably cover it tomorrow. I'm just trying to find out a little bit more info on different stuff. So I will talk about him, but not yet. Where's my notes gone? Just lost my notes. Next one. Timber. Let's have a look at Timber then. So what's happening with Timber? So, Timber's representatives have been spotted in London last week at United's international office, where apparently big transfers are being discussed. This is from Mike Verjoy, and he says, Timber is a big favourite at Ten Hag, and much is being done to sign him. Again, this is another one. More so than Kante. Kante feels like there's interest, but I don't know how close to getting it over the line that we are. Darwin Nunez and Timber feel like they're a little bit more advanced in terms of certain things, don't they? And I think there's a little bit more validity to these claims than some of the others that you see kicking about. Timber, for me, makes a lot of sense. I think he'd be a good fit for us. Mostly when I've been thinking about him, I've been thinking about him as a centre-half. But I actually think that there could be a lot of him playing at right back as well. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Ant says Darwin is the Wish Haaland, but more expensive. He's not more expensive when you throw into the mix the cost of agents' fees and all the other associated things that's on there. Someone there saying, can I unblock me on Twitter? I'm going to block you on here because you're being fucking annoying. And that's probably why you got blocked in the first place. Youngin says Gianluca Scamacca is way better than Nunez. I would probably agree with that. I think that's a good shout. General Flange says, any truth in the rumour United are signing Richard Arlison to drive the bus next season? I tell you what, those Everton fans have got some fucking absolute top tier wind up, haven't they? That was a sensational bit of winding up. I loved it. I thought that was absolutely fucking fantastic. Right, I've just loaded up the fucking webpage now. I can't block off the app that I use to go live off, but I've got it up here now. And now you're getting blocked on here as well, fuckface. Fucking laters. Leon says, could Kante be the James Milner type signing that Liverpool did? Yeah, that's the one. I think there's something in that. Not every player is going to play 55 games a season for you, 90 minutes every single week. Sometimes you need a little bit of character and culture in the dressing room, and that's the one. Mankey says, morning Steve, casually listen to your live in the office. Sound, don't say fuck or bugger, you'll get done at work. You fucking bugger. Dennis says, Timber's a fantastic talent, but also a right-footed or slash-sided centre-half. We needed a left-sided desperately. Well, on that front, I've got another one for you. Stand by. And we are talking about Pau Torres. So, what's happening with Pau Torres? So, according to AS, right now there's nothing at all, and there's talk of many things like every year. He supposedly said to Spanish publication AS. He says, I have peace of mind being where they want me, the club of my life, and this offer right now I value as very positive. There is nothing right now. The only thing I have is the offer from Villarreal, so I am very calm. Reportedly, there's a release clause of 55 million, although they reckon a bid of 40 to 45 million might be enough to tempt them into selling, considering he's only got 2 years left on his contract. For me, I think he's a decent player, but I'm not sure he's going to be a player that takes you to the very, very top, to the very next level. I think he's all right, but I don't not necessarily think he's one where I certainly wouldn't be like, whoa, yeah, we fucking signed Pau Torres, better watch out. I think he's a good player. But again, that's probably it, I think. MR Rank said, would I prefer Timber over Torres? I would. And that's probably even at centre-half, actually. I think probably over have him at centre-half, but the versatility of Timber makes him a better shout anyway. Ed says, I'm not mad if Timber, Pau, Varane, Williams are our starters ahead of the first season. It's definitely been worse recently, hasn't it? Rob says, rumours of 120 million to spend, but Frankie and Nunez would easily surpass this. Yeah, that's why I don't think you can listen to the, do we have an exact pound figure? We've got that much, that's it, nothing else. I don't think that's the case. They found money for Ronaldo at the last minute last season. I think if the right player comes around, you can make it work. Tom says, how screwed is Marshall's value right now? If he gets someone to pay him, if he gets someone to pay him 250 grand a week like we're paying him, that's fucking bonkers, isn't it? Booter asking a question about my mustache. Bizarre. Rebecca says, did I see Williams' comment under Garner's picture? I've not. Do you want to stick it in the chat and I'll read it out? Ed says, Pau's good, being Villarreal's top 3 players in the Champions League this season. They play, again, you're looking at almost like a Spanish version of Maguire. Not that they're the same player, but you're looking at a Spanish version of Maguire in terms of the way they play football protects him a little bit. I want a team that plays a high line, a player that plays in a good... See, this is why, right? I haven't fucking weighed in at all on the John Terry and Rio thing, right? Not my fucking place to, really. And Rio doesn't need anyone to fight his battles on this front. Manchester United had record number of clean sheets in the 08-09 season, I think it was, with Rio and Vidic at centre-half. And I think Vidic was injured for a lot of that. That season, Manchester United played on the fucking halfway line, and we still kept all those clean sheets. We was a fucking super attacking team. You had Ronaldo, who did fucking 0 defending. You played 4-3-3, but the midfield included like Scholes and that, who's just fucking steaming up top and doesn't really do a lot of defending. Is actually not great defending. Certainly doesn't sit deep in a low block at all. You got Rio and Vidic defending on the halfway line with Michael Carrick, who's not exactly like Kante-like, in front of them. And they still kept clean sheets like it was nothing. What they did is more impressive than the way Terry did it under Jose Mourinho, which was a bit more defensive and was way more protected by the likes of Essien and that in front of them. And John Terry being 5th on that fucking list. John Terry's not even in the top 10. Maybe 10th. Maybe 10th. I could easily find 10 centre-halves better than John Terry that have played in the Premier League without too much fucking thought, in all honesty. It wouldn't take me a lot to figure out who would be better Stam's the best, right? That's ever played. And Rio's number 2. Behind them two, I think it's Vincent Kompany, Tony Adams. I'd probably put Virgil van Dijk 5th. I'm going to have Sol Campbell in there, maybe 6th. Ricardo Carvalho is better than John Terry. He was the reason that they won stuff because he was a fucking really good defender. Vidic is probably in the mix around that sort of area anyway. Gary Pallister needs to be in the mix, and if you don't think he is, you need to go and listen to Alex Ferguson. Paul McGrath needs to be in the mix. Lucas fucking Radaby needs to be in the mix. John Terry isn't above any one of these players that I've just mentioned. And for further proof, because there's obviously a United bias in here, and if you're an England fan of any sort, there's probably going to be some sort of John Terry bias for whatever fucking reason. No great centre-half has ever been the weakness in their team, right? John Terry was the weakness in an England team. Don't take my word for it. And yeah, Ledley King, if he didn't have bad knees, probably be in the mix as well. Steve Bruce and John Terry are probably more aligned than people want to really fucking admit, right? Germany, 2010 World Cup. 100% facts. Let me find it. Joachim Löw's tactic was to fucking pull John Terry out of position. They beat us 4-1. Their decision was to try and move John Terry around because his defensive positioning was fucking shit. They knew that Lampard and Gerrard would not sit and protect like he had Essien to protect him when he was at Chelsea, and that he could be drawn into midfield and you could put the ball in the space that he vacates. Germany beat us 4-0. And the person that they targeted was John Terry. Now, I'll put it to you that a top centre-half is not the person you would target in a team as their weakness. Any further fucking questions? Fuck John Terry. Fuck the guy that rearranged the penalty order to take the winning penalty, arranging his fucking captain's armband on the way so he could have all the fucking headlines, but thank you for shinning it over the fucking bar, you melon. Fuck the guy. I mean, how is this not match fixing, by the way? This is literally match fixing. You want the ball to go out on a 26 minutes so you can be fucking substituted and everyone can give you a round of applause. Ooh. What kind of fucking man sits there, writes that down and goes, I've had an idea. The idea is, I want everyone to give me a clap on the 26th minute because my number's 26. Ooh. SK says Carvalho and Stam better than Rio and Terry. Remove the English tax. Rio's on the wrong side of that little fucking thingy there. Rio was sensational. Like, people think, oh, he could play ball. Listen, have you seen the size of Rio? He was fucking physical. He kept it on his feet. His organisation was fucking unbelievable. His defensive instincts was fucking unbelievable. Just go back and find the 2008, 2009, either of those season reviews and just watch some 90 minutes of games and just watch him and just go, fuck me. The constant awareness of what's going on, the communication of what's going on. Yes, the ball playing ability. I'm not talking stepping out into midfield while no one's marking you. We're talking about line breaking passes that go from fucking defence into the striker's feet. We're talking serious ball playing ability. Ant says Terry was to defenders what Michael Owen was to pundits. He had a decent ball on him. I'll give him that. He had a decent pass on him and some good range on it, and he could head a ball. But his defensive positioning was fucking atrocious. There was an England... Was it England-Italy? When would this have been? 2014? That's round about right. Did we play England... Was it England-Italy in 2014? I'm just going to Google it. Yeah, they beat us 2-1. Let me have a look at the squad. John Terry wasn't even in the fucking team. Wasn't that game then? Maybe it wasn't that game. I thought it was that game. There was a game in 2014 where I watched him and he was just shit. Absolutely fucking shit. Sav says, do we have a Terry archetype in Harry Maguire then? Maybe. Nabki says, graduating medical school today, really helped me through. Oh, fantastic. Congratulations. That's a fucking tough one to get through. Well done. Is it Euro 2012? Let's have a look at that. Euro 2012. It might have been Euro 2012. Let's have a quick Google of that. See if that was the one. Let's try and get the 11 up. Has it got the squad? Has it got the squad? Yeah, I can't find it. But yeah, fucking hell. Andy Muck says, Rio was class, but Stan was outrageously good. Stan was the best for me. I agree. I think Stan was above him. It's 12 o'clock. I better jive. I've got a call. Cheers for tuning in. For more fucking John Terry slander, I'm on the fucking brew later with Jay, so we'll fucking get in the mix on that, I'm sure. But yeah, John Terry is an absolute fucking fraud. The fucking fragility of the man that he has to fucking get on social media kicking off. If someone puts you in the top 5, and I don't even agree with you being in the top 5, right? If someone puts you in the top 5, you just got to take it, right? And go, all right, cool, I'm rated. To kick off and being like, you've only put me 5th. Get a fucking grip, you absolute fucking sausage. Right, I'm on a brew at 4 with Jay. I'm sure we'll continue this later. Fucking in a bizzle. Ta-ta.